Shows what he's capable of. MVP chance at age 37.
I mean, come on. 125 points in 3 games over 4 nights.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous if you're 25, if you're 30. If you're 37, it's like otherworldly stuff. It's like, really? I mean, who does that? And you watch him out there, and night after night, you know what it is? He smells this. He knows what's possible now.
Okay.
And let's face it, this is probably a game. This is a game, and Steve Kerr said after the game, this was the middle of the season he would not have played.
He was questionable on the injury report today.
Yeah,
He was.
And he's out there with basically a butt pad.
Yep.
You know, and taking charges.
2 charges today.
Dude, what are you
There
doing?
You go. Hey, listen,
But
let me just
that tells
pause
you
you
what
for a
he
second.
wants.
Because Steph was at the podium.
Oh, yeah.
Here he goes.
That he and the coaches talked to you, Draymond, and Jimmy last night, whether you really wanted to play, and said the answer was pretty adamant. What was that conversation like, and what's the message? What's the meaning of you guys saying we're playing? That just doesn't matter what the schedule is, we're playing.
The conversation just had, there's context of where we are in the season, but if any of us felt physically like we weren't ready to go or couldn't or put ourselves in jeopardy of taking a couple steps back physically, then you have a different decision. But we all felt good, got in at a decent hour. Rick and Steve are pretty proactive on some of those conversations. When we all talked about it this morning, it was kind of full green light. So thankfully everything panned out where we got the win. Everybody got out of the game okay, feeling good. And hopefully you can keep taking care of business so that you have optionality at the end of the season, but who knows?
Steph, I asked Draymond about your quote about meaningful basketball and how's your demeanor different? Does Steph change at all when the basketball becomes more meaningful? And he said you can get in the weeds in terms of strategic suggestions, telling Steve he needs to be in the game right now, as an example. How do you feel any changes when it comes to April, when these games become obviously more important? How do you see yourself clicking into another gear in some way?
You always had a competitiveness, the energy can go up and down depending on what part of the season. It's obviously really hard to have a sustained level of everything for 82 games, but sense of urgency down the stretch, the feeling of where you are in the standings, every game mattering. Is that a word? Every game matters, and the idea that the chess match of how do we win this particular game becomes a little bit more important. And so we talk every game in the huddles, but you are a little bit more animated at times when you feel the sense of urgency because of where we are at this point in the season. So we thrive off of that. That's why we've been so successful for this many years, because as the stakes rise, the lights get brighter, we tend to level up.
And what prompted you to ask for E to come in? That seems like something you don't normally do.
Not that particular suggestion. It was just an idea. We had a 10, 12-point lead to become a little bit more versatile defensively. We don't need to score any more points. It's just trying to get stops. And Guy is obviously a great energy guy. But, every game is different. So whether it was in L.A. last night when Jimmy was in the back getting his wrist checked, it was me and Draymond went back in the last minute and a half of the third quarter. Those little decisions can swing the momentum either way, and it just shows we're engaged.
Steph, I don't expect you to do a Draymond and call a championship here, but given what you guys just did at Memphis, Lakers in L.A., back-to-back, after an incredibly long road trip, beat Denver, all 3 playoff teams, all 3 teams you could see pretty soon in the postseason. Is this a championship-level team you're on right now?
We're playing like that. We have a lot of work. I've been saying that since this run started. We have a lot of work to do, and we still have a lot of work to do to finish the year strong. you are seeing an identity on a night-to-night that we understand how to win games, whether it's, games where the tempo is a lot faster, you got to score, or if it's a grinded-out defensive game. We've played better in fourth quarters with leads. All the things that championship-caliber teams do, we've been doing. And it's clearly different than 2 months ago. So just an idea of hold on to that energy, and for us to just be able to get into a playoff series, we understand what we're capable of. And whether you're predicting it or speaking it into existence or whatever it is, like, the confidence is there. So just ride that wave.
Steph Curry whipping the crowd into a frenzy in that second quarter, Monty. Steph going off for a dozen, but how about getting it done on the defensive end? What did you think when you saw a charge?
I thought, what is he doing? What are you doing, man? You almost didn't play this game because you were sore back there, and there he is out there taking charges against guys that outweigh him by 20 and 30 pounds.
Yeah, when I saw that, I was like, I did think, what are you doing? But also, yeah. And then he took another one later in the fourth quarter when they had a big lead, and he didn't have to take it.
Exactly. I mean, that tells you he's willing to sacrifice, obviously.
Okay.
And so you look at where the team is and where he is. Like I said earlier, he smells this. He smells what's possible, and he's willing to do whatever it takes to take the Warriors where he wants that 5th championship so bad. Yeah. And he knows that the better position they are in at the end of this season, if they can finish in the top 6, that gives him a little bit of a break. And he's 37. Draymond's 35. Jimmy's 35. You think those guys might want a little bit of a break?
Yeah, we will take a look at the schedule because it will probably end up being, it's at least 6 days of rest, might be a full week, which would be life-changing, I think they would say.
I mean, they'll practice and stuff, but it won't be games, which means a different level.
Right, there you go. Okay, one of the guys who's really emerged in this starting lineup and playing really well alongside Steph is Brandon Pajemski, who's lined tonight 26, 8, and 6. So leading the team in rebounds, leading the team in assists, but it's his three-point shot, Monty, too. That's looking special right now. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to say it, but Steph is used to playing with guys who can really shoot next to him.
I know what are their names. Clay Thompson,
And so Brandon is right now shooting at that level.
Okay.
He is shooting at that level. He ain't the same player. I'm not going to go there. He ain't the same player. But the way he's shooting the ball right now opens up things for this offense, and it helps Steph out because, again, anytime that somebody else on Steph's team is getting buckets, that means a little bit of room for Steph. Not much, a little bit of room.
Well, you know what
because
you
they're
can
still
do
going
with
to follow
that.
him.
That's right. Steph does a lot with millimeters.
Yes.
And Brandon Pajemski, thinking about his journey this season, at the beginning of the year, we were talking about a sophomore slump for him.
He wasn't good.
His three-point shooting was
not
down.
Good.
He was in a funk. Those are some natural things that happen when expectations catch up to some.